Rosh Hashiva, Rosh Kollel, Rabbanim, Menalim, L'chol HaKol HaKodesh Hazeh. On behalf of the Melaveh Malka Chairman, Rav David Zeltzer, the Melaveh Malka Committee members, and the board members of Bnei Shalom, I welcome you to the 54th anniversary of Bnei Shalom, Melaveh Malka, as we pay tribute to Rabbi and Rebbetzin Sunshine for their 18 years of dedication to Bnei Shalom and the Waterbury community. I would like to recognize, even though he doesn't look it tonight, Officer Matt Limos, for being here with us on a weekend, on a rainy night. Thank you, officer, for being here. tells us in Tehillim. This campaign of Melaveh Malka did not happen in a vacuum. We must publicly thank and recognize those who without them, neither this campaign nor this Melaveh Malka would have happened. It's not an exaggeration to say that this was a collective effort of hundreds of hours of several dedicated and selfless people. People who wouldn't take no for an answer. People who have a burning fire inside of them to be Ma'aseh and Kedusha and Ruchnius in the city. I am humbled, truly humbled, to have been given this opportunity to work alongside them, but even more than working with them, to learn from them. I stand in awe of them as they displayed superhuman efforts in making this campaign of Melaveh Malka a success. I'm asking mechila from all of them, from anyone who I forget to mention, and mechila from those who I do mention for not thanking them sufficiently. But we would literally be here all night if I were to properly thank them for all they have done over these past several weeks. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows, maybe your wives as well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu certainly knows how hard he worked, the efforts he put in, the time, the energy, and may he continue to shower you all with the brachos of those who are Isaac B'tzar Tetzibur B'Amuna. Please join me in showing a Karas HaTayv and a round of applause to the following special individuals. Reb Sroli Chef, Campaign Chairman Rav David Zeltzer, the committee members Rav Ben Carr, Rav Levi Yudkin, Rav Moshe Steierman, Rav Chaim Ariwala, and Rav Hillel Weinreb. And thank you to all of those who volunteered on the calling night and other nights to make phone calls, to reach out to people for this campaign. And of course, it goes without saying, thank you to the Bnei Shalom board members who are Isaac the entire year, not just for this campaign included, but the entire year to ensure the success and the growth of the shul. Rav Yehuda Jaselit, Rav Chaim Sher, Rav Mordechai Fleischman, Rav Berit Schachter, Rav Sal Halder, and Rav Levi Yudkin. We'd like to thank the corporate sponsors for this evening. The event sponsor of the evening are Mr. and Mrs. Shumi Handelman. The corporate sponsors, in no particular order, Autumn Lake Healthcare, Excella Construction, Haskell Trading, Grassmoon Realty, Dr. Ezra Freeman and PHA, Ms. Sifta B'nai Torah, Shirley Stravel, Mr. and Mrs. Yitzchak Katz, Mr. and Mrs. Moshe Chaim Levenberg, Mr. and Mrs. Daniel Newirth, Mr. and Mrs. Yitzchak Rabinowitz, Mr. and Mrs. Alex Soriano, and Mr. and Mrs. John Logan. Yashukaya, thank you. Of course, how could we not thank the wives of all our committee members and all the board members for being Meiser Nefesh to allow their husbands to take on this holy mission. Whatever was accomplished here is yours of course. Thank you for allowing your husbands to take on a second, maybe third job for the last few weeks. Kodesh Baruch Hu should continue to give you nachas from your families and good health. We'd like to thank those who were involved in the specific in the setup for tonight. To Mrs. Wertowski and her crew. Yaakov Lieber and Aaron Saferman for the delicious food. Eli Shapiro for the video. Shimon Freeman for the photography. Ashi Jeremiah for the technical setup. When attempting to thank our ambassadors and our donors, it's hard to find the words. Chazal tell us in this week's parsha that Moshe was miskasha with the matzah shekel until HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed him a matbeah shel eish. And all the Mefarshim asked, what exactly was Moshe's difficulty with the matzah shekel? What was it that he found so difficult? The Chassam Sofer says, he answers that Moshe Rabbeinu was bothered. Why can't everyone do whatever they're able to do? Those who are able and are of means should get more. He says, Lama yimna Hashem atayim eis hareitz laharvos. Why should HaKadosh Baruch Hu hold back the good from those who want to increase? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed him a matbeah shel eish. And he said, Kazeh yitnu. Which was referring to the Nediva slave, the enthusiasm, the Havana, the Simcha, the Avas Hashem that's burning inside of every person. Those who are able to do, those who are able to do more, some less, each kafi ha'adam. And that's why the usher liyarba, the usher cannot give more. Because that's not the ikr. The ikr is not the sikum hamayis, he says. The ikr is the Nedivas libay v'avas Hashem. And if someone wants to be Maisif, that's where he should be Maisif. He should be Maisif in the Nedivas, in the Hislavas, in the energy and the strength that he gives, the time, the efforts that he gives to that endeavor. And he says, in that, not everyone is the same. There are those who do more, even if the final result is not necessarily what they had intended, but they give it their all. To all our dear ambassadors here in the room and those who are not, to all our donors here in the room and those who are not with us tonight, there are no words to thank you for the efforts that you made, that you put in the last few weeks. You showed a true Nediva slave. You wanted to be Marba, and you were Marba. You were Marba with your phone calls, with your texts, with your WhatsApps, with everything, with meetings. It's truly inspiring. It's inspiring to me, inspiring to all the committee members and the board members. And Beroisham, the Rav mentioned I believe he mentioned at the kickoff rally that all this fundraising is new for him. But it was reminding me, learning the parsha this week of Bitzalo, the Mefarshim speak out, the Ramban and others, that it's a pella. It says a pella, that someone at that age, 13, they were all in Mitzrayim a few months earlier. How did they have the knowledge to be the leader, to be the one in charge of the Mishkan with all its details? It was a pella. But somehow the Rav, to all of us, and we all felt the same way, the Rav encouraged us, critiqued us when it was needed, encouraged us, always had the right word and the ideas to say, like a seasoned veteran in the field of fundraising. And for that we thank him. Several years ago, my family spent a week in Birchwood Bungalow Colony for a week during the summer. I walked into the Beis Medrash one night for Ma'ariv as the last few minutes of the shir was finishing up. I watched the faces of the Rabbeim and the Rachrim who were listening to the shir, and all their facial expressions pretty much were the same. It was like this. Like a look of shock or surprise on their face at what they had just experienced. I didn't recognize the Maggid Shir, and I asked someone right before Mariv began what the Maggid Shir's name was. And they said Rabbi Yonason Sachs. This was before Rabbi Sonnenschein began teaching in Landers. In these last few years, Rabbi Sachs has become a household name here in town, spoken about with reverence and admiration. We thank the Rav for making the trip this evening immediately after Shabbos. It is my covet to ask Rabbi Yonason Sachs Shlita to address us here this evening.
Thank you very much. B'shus Maradas Shlita, Rabbanim Chashuvim, Rabbi Sonnenschein Senior. It's really a pleasure to be here. This is the first time I've come to your shul, but no doubt I feel that we have a common treasure that I revere, and to see that you revere as well is something that is very, very inspiring. So I feel we have a certain commonality, even though we have just indeed met. You know, when your Rav is not with you here, he's with me in the yeshiva. And I beg your indulgence. I hope that you understand that even though I'm taking him away at times from the Kehillah, but realize that Baruch Hashem and Avodas HaKodesh, he is accomplishing wonderful, wonderful things. These parshios of Hakamas HaMishkan, these are lessons that we embrace with Oros. You know, the Torah tells us in Parshas Vayakel, in Perek Lamed Pasuk Vav Aleph, that those who participated in the Nedivos Halev of Mishkan were characterized as being unique for their graciousness, for their sincerity. After all, Nisa'o Libo, Nadva Rucho. And the Ramban is bothered by the following. Where exactly do you see that this is true? Where do you see a sense of the Nedinos Halev? And the Ramban writes something that's stunning that I think is a critical Musar Haskel in Avodas Hashem. You know, when you read these parshios, the intricacy, the detail, that which is exquisite in terms of Binyan HaMishkan, it's hard sometimes to even read the psukim and to get a full sense of the enormous nature of the beauty, the splendor, the kavod, tiferes of the Mishkan itself. And imagine if a person were to call upon you that you are in charge with crafting, with furnishing all of the kelim of the Mishkan. One would think that this would take a skilled, trained architect with vast experience. You know, imagine that the shul is embarking on certain structural improvements, and you want to have a contractor, you want to have a crew of workers who you know are going to do an appropriate job. It's fair to ask them that what was their education, what is your resume, that what are your references, how many times have you engaged in such a project? And you know what the Ramban comments? The Bnei Yisrael are told to build the Mishkan Hashem, the Kabbalah Siferes. Who were they? For hundreds of years, they were slaves in Mitzrayim. They worked the land. B'chomer u'lovenim. They had no experience whatsoever in building a Mishkan Hashem. And therefore, there was every reason in the world that they could simply turn away and argue very simply, we would love to, but we're ill-equipped, we're not trained, we don't have experience, the education, the resume that's necessary in order to accomplish this lofty goal. But that wasn't the response of Knesset Yisrael. You know, it's Sugyan Brachos, and I feel that Madam Ifkadas, Yibolach L'Neva, Kadosh Baruch Hu says that you do, and you march. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says jump, and you respond how high. You don't question your ability when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that this is what I'm obligating you to do. And the Ramban quotes the pasuk Divrei Hayamim in Yud Zayin pasuk Vav, Vayikbal libo b'darchei Hashem. That characterized Knesset Yisrael. There was a certain uplifting graciousness of their heart that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu taps me to build the Mishkan Hashem, the answer is absolutely yes. And even though I'm ill-equipped, And even though I'm not trained, and even though that this is not something that I think is within my reach, that you know what? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks, the answer is absolutely yes. And you know what? We'll be mishtada, we'll be mispala, and we'll be zochet to siyata d'shmaya. This is not uniquely true when it comes to the Mishkan Hashem. There is another Ramban, Bereshis Perek Vav Pasuk Yites, when it comes to Tevas Noach. Noach was told to build a teva. The purpose of the teva was to house all the animals that would enter. You know what the Ramban writes? That was absolutely impossible. The Ramban writes by illustration, there was one bird called an ayah that had 120 different varieties, all of which entered the teva. Imagine exponentially what that meant, how many animals had to enter the teva. The Ramban writes, had the teva been literally 10 times its size, there is no way that it could house all the animals that entered. So how did all of this happen? The Ramban writes, the answer is one word. It was an ace. Tevas Noach was an ace. That all the animals could somehow enter and survive in a teva that size. Okay, an ace. But then the Ramban says something remarkable. If it's an ace, why is it that Noach had to work so hard? Noach labored over a century to build a teva. You know, if it's an ace, let it happen instantaneously. Why did it take such enormous effort? And the Ramban writes that this is a critical lesson of Nisim. I would tell you this is one of the most important lessons in life. That Nisim do not just occur. You have to position yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be a zochet to an ace. If Noah would not have worked for a century in building the teva to the best of his ability, the nace of Tevas Noah would not have happened. And therefore, Noah is mishtada, Noah is mispala. And all of a sudden, this incredible nace occurs. But I'll tell you the greatness of Noah. Imagine that you're told to build a teva, and it's going to take you over a century, and you know that somehow it doesn't seem to make sense. There is no way that the teva can somehow fulfill its purpose. How do you respond? How do you respond when you're asked by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do that which seems to be absolutely beyond your reach? Typical people would walk away. They wouldn't even try. But Noach's response, Brachos Daf Yud, Madem Iskadas Ivolach Lamevad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you do. I don't exactly see that how I'm going to reach that finish line. You know what the answer is that is not your avoda. Your avoda is to fulfill the tzivui Hashem. And you do so, you position yourself, and all of a sudden Nisim miraculously occur. That's something that's remarkable. And I'll tell you, that was true of Moshe Rabbeinu, that was true of Aaron HaKohen. You know, there is a sugya in the Dharma Daf Lamed Ches that describes these parshias, that Moshe Rabbeinu was told to erect the Mishkan, to engage in Prisas HaYirios, to take all the curtains and to single-handedly erect them. You know what the Gemara tells us? It must have been that Moshe Rabbeinu was an incredible gibor, because you have to have enormous strength in order to single-handedly see to it that all the Yirios are placed appropriately. But I'll tell you a difficulty. Take a look on that daf, the Dharma Daf Lamed Ches. Take a look at the Pirush HaRosh, the Pirush HaMarsha. That was an absolute nace. Hakamas HaMishkan was a nace. And if it's a nace, how does that attest to the Gevura of Moshe Rabbeinu? After all, if it's something that I did, I understand that can attest to the fact that, yes, I possess a certain physical strength. But if this happened al pines, so how is that an indication in any shape or form of the Gevura of Moshe Rabbeinu? You know, there is a Medrash Rabbin Vayikra Chavav Tes that writes the same thing regarding Moshe and Aaron, regarding the Hanafa Salavim. They were told that, you know, no longer the Bachar, the Levim are going to engage in Avodah Samishkan. And it's necessary, literally, to pick them up and to wave them in multiple directions during a single day. A single day. 22,000 Levim in a single day. When you do the math, you know what that means? Without any break whatsoever, a motion a second of Hanafa Salavi. Imagine I were to ask you to pick up your chaver and wave him in a few directions. After 3 or 4 or 5, you would tire. And Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron are able to do so. You know what the Medrash Rabbah writes in Chafav Tes, that they were Giborim. They had a sense of Gvura. You know what's difficult with that? Gvura. Mufurish Rabbeinu Bechaya, right, Bebidbar Cheskaf. This was a nace. This was a nace. Hanafa Salavim. If it's a nace, how does that attest to your physical strength, that you're a Gibor? You know what the answer is? When the Gemara tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen were Giborim, it does not mean physical strength. You know what Gvura means? When a Kadosh Baruch Hu asks you to do something that seemingly is impossible. It's beyond your reach. Kadosh Baruch Hu tells Moshe Rabbeinu to go ahead and to erect a Mishkan. Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Aaron HaKohen to wave each and every Levi. Or HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Noah to construct a Teva. Or Avram Avinu is told Svar HaKolchov. What exactly does that mean? Avram Avinu is told to count the stars. You know, Rav Sagi Gon writes, Svar means he's stuck. Look at the stars. Look at the stars, okay? But the Barbanel writes, separate sefer, Shuas Mashiach. The Barbanel writes, literally, Svar HaKolchavim. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells me to count the stars, you know what I do? I go outside and I start counting. And your chaver asks you, what are you doing? The answer is, I'm counting all the stars. And he'll tell you, you know, that's an impossible task. That is beyond your reach. And you know what I'll tell him? Baruch Stef Yud, that Ma'adam Ifkadasi Balach Lanev. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told me to do, and I do. That's the commonality of Noah and Avram Avinu and Moshe and Aaron. You know, Avram Avinu counted the stars successfully. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avram Avinu, Ko Yihye Zarech. I would suggest that Ko Yihye Zarech does not just simply mean your Zerah will be numerous. You know what it means? They will have this capacity of counting the stars, of overreaching for that which is absolutely, seemingly impossible. That is absolute glory. And that is Vayigba Libo B'darchei Hashem. You have no limitations when it comes to Avodas Hashem. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you and you respond that absolutely yes. How exactly am I going to reach the finish line? How is it that I am going to be Matzliach? I'll tell you clearly. That is irrelevant. Irrelevant. You have to be Mishtadeh. You have to be Mispaleh. And be convinced that if HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks you to do something, that you will have the siyata d'shmaya to be able to reach that goal. And this is kavshei d'rachmana, to think that, you know what, that I question, is that attainable? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Kol Yachol. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is omnipotent. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is omniscient. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is omnibenevolent. Kulo tov. If HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you that this is what you have to do, the answer is a resounding yes. That is absolute gvura. That is the lesson of Hakamas HaMishkan. Logically, was this possible? Absolutely not. You cannot take slaves who engaged in avodas parach for hundreds of years and expect them to build the Mishkan Hashem, if not for enormous siyata d'shmaya. And with siyata d'shmaya, there are no limits. Everything is possible. Everything is within your reach. Ki karav alecha hadavar ma'od, v'ficha u'levav chalas. If the Torah says yes, it means it's attainable. It's something that's within my grasp. Lo niflesim. It's not something which is distant. There's a stunning Medrash Rabbah in Nitzavim. Lo niflesim. The Medrash displaces a comma. V'im niflesim. If you think this is beyond your reach, comma, mincha. That's your sight. That's your consciousness. But That is not the reality. And I can tell you this is true in every aspect of Avodas HaKodesh. You know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects that, yes, that we are going to be a holistic Even Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu expects that, yes, that we are going to raise and build the Bayis Ne'eman B'Yisrael. Is that something that is so easy? Is it so easy to build a Mikdash Ma'at, B'derech HaShalom, the type of shul that Baruch Hashem that you're zocheh to have? You know, when you embark on a project, you think that this is something beyond our capacity. But if you do so, l'shem shamayim, and you're mispalel to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you realize that Ezras Hashem will be zocheh to enormous success. There is a Mishnah in Perakei of Maseches Avos that tells us, Arba midos v'talmidim. You know, there are different types of talmidim. Some have an incredible recall. Others have an incredible grasp. And some have neither, and some have both. I'll ask you a very simple question. Why is this a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos? Telling me that, you know, there's certain talmidim that are incredibly bright. There's certain talmidim that are enormously gifted. It's true. But, you know, it should be inspiration. It should be something that speaks to me. And what if I don't have that capacity? What if I don't have those talents? Why does the Mishnah tell me that you should realize, indeed, this is a kasha of the Rambam in Pirush Mishnayos of Perakei. This is a kasha of the Rina Achmiyash and that Mishnah. And the Rina Achmiyash, Pirush of the Chidah as well, quotes a sugyanid and of ayin. You know what the answer is? Very, very simple. The Mishnah is not telling us that, you know what, that these are traits that you don't have. The Mishnah is telling you something incredibly profound. That this is who you can become. A person that, say, begins his Asek B'Torah. And the Torah of Hashem is so vast. The Torah of Hashem is so complex. You know, the Gon and Nida Daflamet, it's a nace that we can even link into, Chachmas Hashem. And a person can walk away somewhat discouraged that, how is it that I can emerge? Ma yasa adram diyefet. What indeed can I do? Well, the Gemara tells us the following. You want to immerse yourself in Asek B'Torah, Yarba B'Yeshiva Yamait B'Sora. You have to learn. You have to try to cut out any other aspects of life that will derail you. You have to focus on the Torah Hashem. And the Gemara tells us something stunning, that many did that, but you know what? They weren't fully matzliach. The Gemara says because there's one more dimension. You have to be nishtadel, you have to learn, but you must be mispalo. Yivakesh rachamim, mimi shafachma shalo. You have to daven HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hab lo halo sagi. If a person is mishtadel and a person is mispalel, you'll be matzliach. And therefore, any Talmud in Yeshiva, don't think that this Talmud has a quicker grasp, or this Talmud has a better memory. You know what? Immerse yourself. Daven HaKadosh Baruch Hu for siyata d'shmaya, and that is what you'll become. The Mishnah cites as an example of Belos Vanorkanis, a bor sud she'enu ma'abiti, a photographic mind. Never forgot his learning. I'll ask you a very simple question, that why is that a Mishnah? In Maseches Avos. You know, to some extent it's inspirational to know that there is such a model. You know, sometimes you see Gedolei Yisrael who have such mastery over the Torah of Hashem, it's inspiring. But is that simply why it's found as a Mishnah of us? Simply to inspire? Or is there something more? I'll tell you what I think is the secret. And that is Rabbi Lozan Herknes was that Borsud, Shenam Abetipa, a photographic memory, perfect recall. But I'll tell you this, that's not who Rabbi Lozan Herknes was, that's what he became. When you look in Pirkei Rabbi Lozan Herknes describes his struggles in learning. He began as an absolute amaretz. He had to catch up in life to be able to simply be able to attain the knowledge that others had. He wasn't always this model. of being the Talmid Chacham. But you know what? There is a sugya, Sukkot al-Chapes. Miyamai, lo kitman yad lebeis medrash. Obelos Nordman said it never happened, not once, that anyone ever got to the Beis Medrash before I did. And not once did I ever leave the Beis Medrash and someone else was still there. Day after day, without exception. Obelos Nordman was the first one in, he was the last one out. And he was zochet to become a Bor Sud Shem Abativa. That's why it's a mission of us. It wasn't just a natural faculty. It wasn't just a natural ability. But if you immerse yourself in Avodas Hashem, and you're mispalo for Siyata D'Shmaya, you're zochet to incredible nisa. Whether it's in areas of Avas Hashem, Yiras Hashem, and Einsek Torah, that is our key. The key is to be mishtanda. The key is to be mispalo. Recognizing that no tzivui in the Torah Hashem is beyond your reach. If the Ram writes in the Dharma Daf Ches, you have to know Kol Torah Kula, so be it. Be mishtanda, be mispala. If the Gemara writes Menachos and Daf Tzadites, you're not allowed to forget your learning, so be it. So be mishtanda and be mispala. You daven for Siyata D'Shmaya, and all of a sudden you will see Noach, Avram Avinu, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen. You position yourself, and Nisim automatically occur. This requires an important sense of hadrach. For shul to be zochet to such siyata d'shmaya, you need a mardas that embodies these midos. And you're fortunate to have Baruch Hashem, such a Rav and such a Rebbe. I will tell you there's an important comment, an answer to a kasha of the Ramban. When you look in Parshas Truma, the Torah tells us that this is a tzivui of binyan hamishkan. Vasli mikdash v'shachanti b'sofa. But it's not merely true of building a mishkan. This is also true of Beis Hamikdash. Asugya Sanidin of Tezayin, Shuvas Tevav, V'chein Tasu, L'doros. This isn't only true of Mishkan. This is what informs a Beis Hamikdash. And Rashi makes a very unusual comment. Rashi writes, V'chein Tasu L'doros means the following, Ketavnis Hazeh Yasosa. When you build the Beis Hamikdash, don't deviate from these measurements. The measurements of the Beis Halamim, the Beis Habachira, has to correspond to the detail, the measurements of the Mishkan. And the Ramban writes very simply, Eini Yodei Iniya Emes. The Ramban writes, I don't think this is true. That Sheitzayev, Shlomo Melech, Livnos Beis Habachira, Ketavnis Hazeh. Shlomo Melech built the Beis Hamikdash based on the dimensions of the Mishkan. The Ramban writes that the Mizbeach in the Mishkan was 5 amos by 5 amos. That was not true in the Beis Hamikdash. How can Rashi suggest that the size, the dimension of the Kelim in the Beis Halamim was the same as it was in the Mishkan? The Ramban writes it wasn't the case. I'll tell you what I think is the answer to Rashi. This is found in the Pirush the Ralbag on the Torah, beginning of Truma. This is found in the Mabit and Kiryas Sefer, Perek Daled, the Hilchos Beis Hamikdash. There's a difference between Midah as opposed to Tavnis. A Midah means a measurement, a dimension. You know, if I were to ask all the men very simply, you're going to be putting on tefillin tomorrow morning. What exactly is the size of your tefillin? You know what you'll tell me? There's a range. Typical tefillin, 31 millimeters, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. All of them are kosher, absolutely. Kosher l'chatchila. The midos are flexible. I'll ask you the following. What is the tavnis? You know what the Ralbag and the Mabit writes? Tavnis does not mean dimensions. Tavnis means the proportions, the scale. Everyone's tefillin has exactly the same scale. Perfect ribua, even though the dimensions can indeed be different. That's the definition of Tavnis. Oh, the Rabban, the Mabit. Shlomo was told, you're going to build a Beis HaMikdash. The dimensions don't have to be exactly the same as the Mishkan, but the Tavnis does. The Mizbeach in the Mishkan was 5 amos by 5 amos. Shlomo Melech built a Mizbeach of 20 amos by 20 amos. The Midah is different. The Tavnis is exactly the same. The structure, the proportion, the symmetry, the scale, that indeed is identical. That is V'chein Tasu L'doros. It means that the Tavnis, L'doros, has to be the same as the Kedushas HaMishkan. And I would tell you that that is a fundamental idea in Machshava, and that is the role of the Moradas. You know, every generation has a different challenge. Every generation requires somewhat different answers to age-old questions. If I were to ask you very simply, what is the curriculum in Limudei Kodesh of your daughter, your granddaughter? If I were to ask you, what is the curriculum in Limudei Kodesh of your grandmother, your great-grandmother? I think you would all tell me they're very different. The expectations in Limudei Kodesh for our children or grandchildren are not the same way that our grandmothers and great-grandmothers learned the Torah Hashem. You know what? Gedolei Yisrael will determine the midos, but the Tavnis has to always remain the same. And that's the role of a Moradas. That, you know, when new issues come up, when a shul is developing, how is it that you can slide midos and be absolutely loyal to the Tavnis of the Beis Hashem, the Tavnis of the Mishkan? The Kalim of the Mishkan represent the foundations of, no doubt, who we are. The Aram, the Menorah, represent the primacy of the Torah Hashem, the Nesiv Rais, the Torah Shebetzav, and the Menorah, the Torah Shebal Peh. And no doubt the Mizbachos represent that of Avodah. In the Ramban writes in Parshas Truma that the Shulchan represents Gemilus Chasodim, the Lechem HaPanim that sustains the entire world. The Klei HaMishkan and Klei HaMikdash represent the Amudei HaOlam, on which every yeshiva, every Beis Knesset, every Mikdash Ma'at is built. And there's a stunning comment of Rashi, Shabbos Daf Lamed. Rashi writes the following, that we're told to build the Mishkan and Beis HaMikdash. Its purpose, Vosli Mikdash, V'shachanti B'salcha, Hashras Hashim. Rashi asks a very simple question. And before Makamas HaMishkan, and I would argue, and Rahman L'Islam after Churban HaBayis, where do you find Hashras Hashim? Where is the Hashras Hashim? You have a Mishkan and a Beis HaMikdash, yes, Hashras Hashchina, but without a Mishkan, without a Beis HaMikdash. Rashi writes the following, Shabbos L'Nei. Rashi writes, you should recognize, Kodem Shenivna Ohel Moed, Haisa Shchina Mitzuya Ba'Ohel Eitzadik. Rashi writes, the Bayis Neman Yisrael. For us, that is the Bashkinah, Hashras Hashchina. What's true of a Mishkan is true of a Beis HaMikdash, is true of a Shul, a Mikdash Ma'at, Yirein, the Din Daraisa, is true of a Bayis Neman Yisrael. But how is it in today's very complicated times that you're mishtadel in your mitzvah? For this, you turn to Mordas. Mordas will tell you that, you know, it may be in our time, certain midos are different, but this is the Tavnis. This is the Tzura. This is our Yerusha. This is the Mesorah that we have from the Avos and Imos. And this is how we build. We build a Mikdash Ma'at and a Bayis Neman Yisrael. Recognize that be able to reach this occasion, the 18th anniversary of your Rav and Rebbetzin in the Shul. And what I was told is a very successful financial campaign, Bezras Hashem, to be able to allow the Shul to grow, Mechayel Ochayel, to be able to have an environment even more conducive for Havas Hashem and Yiras Shamayim. That's what we're doing. We're not interested in that palatial structure. We're interested in the tool, the vehicle of Hashras Hashchina. And that is my bracha, Baruch Hashem, to wonderful kingdom. We should continue to grow for the sense of the tablets of our Shalshalas Emisod. You should recognize that collectively and individually, nothing in the Torah Hashem is beyond your reach. Your mission in life is positioning. Position yourself to be zolted to siyata d'shma. V'nishtadel, v'nispalel, and Be'ezras Hashem, the kilo will continue to grow in Avas HaTorah, in Esek HaTorah, in Yiras Shamayim, being tremendous, tremendous nachas ruach, tirov, tirebetzin, most importantly, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Farther back, buddy.
Yo, shut your mouth. Wawa wiwa. Okay. Chaverim. Bitzim.
I'm not getting into this. I'm not being in the video.
Take a message.
Hey, my phone's holding it. Just joking.
Yeah, I got you know.
I guess he's giving it. Oh, is this the one? It just says something about like, I use the car's size. Very nice.
Benching in 2 minutes.
I'm very curious.
Very good. So I don't get a chance to speak. Okay, very good. It was good seeing you, Nancy. Yeah, very nice. I'm fine. Yeah, we're good. But take yourself.
Do I need to go?
I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Rob, picture with the kids. The kid in Rob.
And your video.
The video's right here.
I'm here. Jeffrey! How was the Sienna?
Alright, you guys want to go together right here? Facing this way?
Oh yeah? Shake a little bit?
Yeah, pass me.
Okay, probably some music.
Panic told me I gotta
Guys, go together.
A lot of work.
We missing anyone? It's okay. Let's go together. Okay. Maish. Come forward. Come in front.
Let's look like we'll Photoshop right.
Oh, I see.
Perfect. Everybody look right here. 3, 2, 1. A minute. 1, 2, and last. 1, 3. Yeah, that's perfect. 3, 2. 1 minute.
Cheese.
3. Amazing.
They're missing one kid at the Photoshop.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like
Okay, let's bench. I'll get out of here. Are they benching?
know, if anyone needs if anyone needed, they could have called you. Whenever he locks guys in cars at midnight. That's the alarm on them.
Okay, Hook, thank you. Oh, so you hold this? I'll get cheesecake. Oh yeah, my shuttle wants food.
Give me a plate. Give me a plate.
Yeah, I got you. 10 bucks.
I'm like, ready? Oh, you 15.
Oh, Alicia.
This is still going 55 minutes long. It's been like this forever too. It's my
After 40,
hurry up, more.
I got a perfect picture of that angle. I'm gonna take it real close. I took like 20 pictures. 20 pictures. No, but that was from our picture.
that's it. I'll look at it.
Oh, wasn't that nice?
At the sushi platter at the spot. We were having a lot of company.
Maybe I could have eaten the whole thing by myself.
Yeah, I bet.
It was
Are we sure you have to stop eating? There's not other people eating.
They said the sushi platter.
Something you can get cooked with oil and not get
Right. That was perfect, and it was such a beautiful letter. Thank you very much for all my credit.
very, very well met.
We always accept Sunday night also.
Wasn't so urgent.
So nice that you came.
Lost a kid. Someone ran over a kid. Shiva, thank you for coming.
I would love to stay. Get some vlog. I was called on Thursday.
Tonight? Oh my God, you going to work time right now?
I will.
You have a lot of references. You have a keynote speaker? What was his phone call me again?
What?
No way they would do that. No way. They call you 3 days before the event. No, it's a Thursday. No, it's a Thursday. That's insane. Keynote speaker.
person that did it? It's fine, it's hard to know, but like, FYI for the future, like, the more communication, the more I'm included in the conversation, the more like everybody came in tonight, as we were in the street, I'm like, oh, the screen, I didn't know there's a different screen. If I would have known, it would have been on my floor.
Want to just like... Not, my boy's only been here for 18 years. But my boy's been here for 24 years.